So, did anything exciting happen today? Did the Giants possibly win a game? What's going on, everyone? Of course, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants winning entertainment. It's nice to have a win. It's nice to extol the virtues of the win itself. We were going back through the I was going back through the contests, and we had someone very close. Whoa, I don't know what that is. Hold on, right here. Got the Cavalier game on still. I had someone very close with Jacob. He guessed actually, I believe, it was 115 yards. And of course, Daniel Jones threw for 110. It's one of those things that you got to be on the money. It was a good guess. It was almost there. It's not that I don't want to give the prize away, and I'm still thinking about it, but Mike Lee missed a point last week by 1 point. And he was gracious enough to the fact that he even lament to the fact that he did not get the exact point total. But you know what? 115 was pretty close to the 110, because who the hell would have thought 110? Who the hell would have thought that your starting quarterback throws for 110 yards and a 1 touchdown? You know, it's a Danny Cannell game. It's the Danny Cannell, when he led the Giants to their playoff appearance. He would have games like that. He'd be like 13 of 21 for 169 yards and a touchdown. That's crazy to me. But like I said, the rules have always been, geez, got a lot of comments here. I didn't even go through all the comments here. What's going on, Double Easy? What's going on here? Or Dave Brown. No, it wasn't a Dave Brown game. Dave Brown threw up some stinkers. Dave Brown, yes, was in his first season as a starter, went 9-6. Did have a winning record. Giants missed the playoffs that year. And he had games like this as well. You have to go under the guidelines that the Giants secondary performed up to expectations. The Giants defensive line is still reliant solely on the coverage sack. And I mean, it was a good game from the perspective of the secondary, because they performed. We pay them a lot. We're paying the secondary quite a bit of money, and they performed. And Xavier Mckinney, this is the game that we've been kind of waiting from Xavier. I think this is his first interception since like week 6 or something like that. I forget what it was, for like week 12 or something in his rookie season. So it's a game that we wanted. And that second interception, and I pointed it out during my video. It's almost like he knew what the play was, because the way he was actually playing center field, and the way he broke to the sideline and got there at that point in time, it was almost like he knew, or there must have been some great film study on that play, because the way he broke into that to get that second interception, that was just incredible. And you got to give old Quincy, all the props in the world for that big sack, and causing the forced fumble, and Leonard Williams falling on the ball. It was just something. It was a good game to have. It was a good game to see. It was fun to watch. It was not fun to watch offensively, but it was fun to watch from the perspective that it was a win, and the Giants defense played well. They did not play spectacularly well. Let's not get crazy, because if Derek Carr hits the tight end who was wide open in the second quarter, who burned James Bradbury, we'd be talking about a different story. And I said this before, this is a game that the Giants would normally be the other team on the other end that had so many mistakes and so many issues that they would be the one that would lose this game this way. And it was nice to see it reversed and having, a team screw up as much as the Raiders did to allow the Giants to win the game. Because honestly, if you take away Xavier McKinney's big touchdown, we're losing this game by 4. So I was jokingly telling people playoffs. That's why this is why this is not the playoff stream. We're 3-6. Let's absorb the win. Let's sit here in the tropics. Let's absorb it. Let's all be happy. Let's understand that it is a win, but let's all just understand, you know what? We got next week off, then we go to Tampa. And, then you still have Tampa, you still have Dallas, you still have 2 games against Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is not going to be a cakewalk. You got to throw in the Chargers there as well. So let's not go nuts yet about wild card and everything else. Let's see. We got some of the comments. I almost guessed the 170 as a joke, and I still would have been wrong. No, we had Jacob came in close at 115. We'll have to see if there's a. We'll have to see if the general consensus is we should give it out for 115, or if we should actually play it. You know what they always say? You play it till you win it. But we'll see what the general consensus is today. Tim, what do you think Malik Will's having the game against Ole Miss? I've said it before. There's no talent. There was no talent on Liberty against Ole Miss. There was no talent whatsoever. You could see the kid was running for his life. I don't think it gave me any cause for a pause. I still think he is the man for this draft. What's going on, baby? Oh yeah, how are we doing today? Good to see everyone coming in a win here. Did Bad Dog Malik is nothing special? That's okay. People can have their opinion. In other news, I'm here for once. You actually did make it. Tim, what do you think of Malik? Stinking it up. He didn't stink it up. Malik Willis didn't stink it up. Malik Willis had no talent around him. They played a 16th ranked team with no talent. We keep Jones around. Are we going back to the? It was a Danny Cannell game. It was a Danny Cannell game, and it's the second Danny Cannell game in a row. But the problem is you cannot win consistently if you're not going to let your quarterback actually play. I spent more on the couch than the gym watching these games. Yeah. You would like to think it was like a blowout, but it wasn't, man. It was a nail biter because the offense can't do anything still. Daniel Jones, I mean, it's just, we're not going to pick on the kid for doing what he did because it's just what he is. It's just what it is. Lol, Tim doesn't do beef. I like beef. I'm a big steak guy. There we go here. McKinney's second in the league in INTs. I didn't know that. He's only got 2 INTs on the league this season, doesn't he? What do we got here? Fire Jason Garrett. Fire Jason Garrett. Fire Joe Judge. Fire John Mayer. Fire Brandon. Rebound and clean house. You know what? The problem is, I think it's funny that someone even pointed it out, that they keep winning these games and they finish 6-10 again. You don't know. You don't know if Gelman's going to still be around. The D-line couldn't stop throwing that. It was frustrating. Again, they were making a lot of tackles. They're making a lot of tackles downfield. They're making a lot of tackles to the second, getting into the second level. So, I mean, I do think that is an issue. That's still going to be an issue. The defense was never really the problem with the team. Well, the defense gave up 30 points a bunch of times. The problem is the secondary has been the issue, and the secondary actually played well today, which is good. This game it actually does save everyone's job until after the Tampa game. Tim likes the Bad Dog, though. I do like Bad Dog, and everyone can agree to disagree on things. So if he doesn't like Malik Willis, that's fine. I love Malik Willis. After 3 years, I think it's finally safe to say is playing decent back. He is playing at the level of the decent backup. Daniel Jones is. Mariners going to blame the season on injuries. I was actually thinking about that yesterday, or actually after the game. So during the Nick game, that potentially that could be the situation, which would make me cry. Playoffs? Someone say playoffs? Don't talk playoffs. I know it was a joke, but I know Double Easy's coming up with a big joke. This is the non-playoff stream. Non-playoff stream. That's what this is. People are dumb if they want good players in the draft and Giants need to lose not to win. Yeah, you always play to win. Always play to win. Enjoy the win because it's yes, it is, Jacob. It is a rare occurrence. So that's why we're enjoying the win today. Tim, what do you think of Malik Willis stinking it up? I already said Malik Willis, he stunk it up, yeah. But that's all right. Not everyone has a great game. Well, what about all the games Daniel Jones stunk it up in at Duke? Mr. Lewis, of course, everyone who had the came on this afternoon and hung out with us for about an hour or so. It was enjoyable to have him coming in and giving the thoughts of the game. He got the Giants score wrong. The Giants won, but you know what? Enjoyed having Mr. Lewis on. We're going to try to have him come on regularly on Sundays. And you know what? It was a good win. It was a good win. Eastern Conference looks very competitive. Yeah, the Eastern Conference does look competitive this year. I'm not taking too much stock about what happened today with the Knicks. I'm, they're gonna have their ups, they're gonna have their downs. It's all good. It's all good. What do we got here? This game shows how bad the Giants are. Jones threw for 110. The offense is a joke. Secondary was huge. This was a sloppy game, won by mistakes on both. Honestly, it really was a sloppy game. But it was still a fun game to watch from the Giants' defensive perspective. Because you're almost like, are they going to blow it or are they going to figure out a way to stop them? And they stopped them. And that's what we wanted them to do. All right. Another year for Dave Gallen, sadly. Oh my God. Everything's going good tonight. Everything going good. We're doing good. We're happy. I hope not either. Say that's gonna be that would be our luck though. No talent around him sounds like Daniel. That is a Daniel Jones excuse. That is. Eli Manning went years at times where he had limited talent around him. The last couple of years of his career, he didn't have any offensive line or wide receivers. And people can tell you that he had some of the worst offensive lines in 2011. What killed me about the Giants today was the Raiders have a worse line than we do. And they held up. They held up to the vaunted pass rush. They really did. I mean, we actually made them look good. Which is not. It was so boring watching Daniel Jones play. He is a below average quarterback. He really is. I mean, he just is. Tampa's gonna be rough. Another blowout. I'm thinking you want to hope that the Giants could piece this together, but Double E's. I see the same thing. I see Tampa roaring back. I see the Tom Brady. I see Tom Brady putting together something towards it's you're heading to the part of the money season, and to me the money season always is you get up after 9-10 games. Those are anything after that right then and there. Those are the money games. Those are the games that you need to win, of course, to make the playoffs. And I think that's exactly what's going on. Rolly got a mention in Chris's stream. What happened? What happened? What it doesn't happen. Eli Manning will not be happy with the Giants calling. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to go on with Eli right now and Peyton. Rolly, great commentary this morning with Tim. You need to be. I keep telling him Mr. Lewis needs his own channel, but he doesn't listen to me. He's too busy at RPM. It's his company, RPM Auto. I keep saying audio. RPM Auto, finding that perfect car for his clients. If you don't know it, go find them. Go buy a car. I didn't know Galladay and Tenney were back. I was hopeful. What's funny? I actually did not know Kenny was going to play today. I knew he was active, but I didn't know how much he was going to get in. And I think Kadarius Toney was just kind of used mainly as a decoy because besides that one ill-advised pass attempt, because now anytime it's going to, and I hope it's not going to be a Kevin Gilbride moment because I pointed this out before. Hakeem Nicks during his rookie season took a little swing pass and took it for like 80 yards for a touchdown. And Kevin Gilbride, you would try running that play at least once a game, and it never worked after that. So you kind of hope it's not going to fall into that same fiasco that he's going to try to throw the ball every game. Because we all know he's not Odell. DJ is not the answer. DJ is not the answer at quarterback or anything at Jeopardy. DJ can warm the bench. He could do a good job warming the bench. He looked good. He looked good as a bench warmer. Madden isn't real football. Yeah, we know that. Daniel Jones put up massive pressure on the Giants. You know what? He really did. There was one point where, and it's in some ways, the defense couldn't get any continuity for the offense because the offense could never get in the field. There was at one point where the Giants offense was not on the field for 51 minutes. And that included the, second quarter, halftime, and going into the third quarter. So, it just is what it is. It boggles my mind why Nate Solder, because we have no one else. There's no one else there. Do you want to stick with Daniel Jones and draft? I want to go a new direction in the quarterback. I mean, I've said that before. I think this shows that he is. I have said this before. I've said this a million times. He's somewhere between Danny Cannell and Gary Collins. He's somewhere in between there. And I don't want that as my New York quarterback. Our old friend Colt McCoy had a great game. Not a good game. He had a great game against them. It's just crazy. Tim, I unfollowed another YouTuber because they dropped a Pro Football Focus stat about Daniel Jones after throwing for 110 yards. Well, he threw for 110 yards, man. I don't want to say this, but I think I could have thrown for 150. Smart move. I'm still kind of ticked. They barely use Kenny. We have a lot of many out there. DJ throws. You know what the problem is? I think a lot of these guys were on a pitch count. I really do. I think the philosophy, you had Booker running the ball well, but they kind of shut that down in the second half. Elijah Penny came up strong with 3 big runs in the second half, but offense just couldn't do anything. And it was, I think it's to the fact that the secondary was playing so well that Joe Judge just said, don't let Daniel Jones make the mistake. And I think that's going to be the Giants' philosophy. Smart move. Smart move there, Akeem. You're right. You are right. Oh, God. It's like watching a freaking horror movie. It really was, though. It really was. $72 million bench warmer. Well, he'll get on the field. He'll get on the field. There we go. This is the question I was waiting for. At least a headset worked. They downloaded the proper software. Everything's fine right now. Do you think Andrew Thomas comes back to help the O-line? Jones played better with Thomas in the game. No. Yes, he does play better with Thomas, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on with Thomas because I think he has 3 or 5 games before he's got to be activated or put on for the IR for the season. That's a big 10-4, good buddy. Quincy, man, he made that play, man. I was dying. I was like, oh my God, he's something's gonna go wrong, and then he came up with that sack. Us winning these meaningless games is hurting us long term because we are not probably going to keep this gentleman. Yeah, but you can't tank. I mean, you're 3-6, 9 games into the season. You can't tank. I mean, well, I guess you could, but you really can't. It's New York. The Giants defense will keep them in games, but you still need a quarterback. I get worried that if the secondary has an off night, the defensive line will not have the ability to generate any pass rush, because you cannot keep relying on the secondary holding up 6-7 seconds. You can't. I just don't see it. Dan Jones did his job and led us to victory. He's a franchise quarterback, and you're going to accept that. Nope, I don't have to accept anything. I don't have to accept a damn thing. It's my channel. I don't have to accept shit. No, Daniel Jones is a bum. Andrew Thomas won't help the O-line. He's played great, but it takes 5 men to play well. Yeah, yes and no. Sometimes if you have one good guy on the line that can actually help solidify the line, I think that's what Andrew Thomas does. But you're right, he's not going to be able to play left tackle and right tackle. What do you think? I was going to bring that up. I cannot believe it wasn't even a wildcat. It was almost a wishbone. And I even said that at one point. Are they in the wishbone? What the hell is going on here? Yeah, it was crazy. They only ran it one play, but I was shocked. So I was like, they can't do that. I mean, you can't run the wishbone. Are we that unenthused with Daniel Jones that we're going back to an offense from the 30s? Actually, I believe he hit 99 yards today, unless they gave him an extra yard. The Raiders defense plays calling was, you know what? If again, I'm not saying because you don't want to take away anything from the victory, but if Derek Carr had an off day, if Derek Carr had a day where he was Derek Carr, this game would have been a little bit different. But you know what? That's what I said. It was nice for a change for the Giants to be the team on the other end of someone having a bad day. Ignore the internet person talking about Jones said intelligence conversation doesn't require silliness or childish attentions. Yes, that's true. Good point. Tim, do you think if we control the time of possession against Tampa like today, we're probably going to – no, I don't think we have a puncher's chance. Tampa's got too many weapons. They got Tom Brady, and they can just run the ball down our throat with Leonard Fournette. And that's a scary thought. Pro Football Focus, Dojo had the best 110 performance ever. He did. As a quarterback, I think one day Danny Kittle threw for 108. And I really ranked it up on the Annals of Giant history, not the Phil Simms 500-yard game, the Eli Manning 500-yard game. It was the 110 game for Daniel Jones. Once Andrew Thomas comes back, we're going to be playing like everything. You guys forget how well we played early. Yeah, we played so well early on. We were 0-3 with all of our weapons. I think people forget that. Kerry Collins went 1-10 run season. I don't see Jones having a similar. I don't see him having a winning streak either. I just meant the way he plays. Kerry Collins was never a consistent quarterback, and he was never the most accurate quarterback. But he always had a way of winning the game, especially for the Giants in that one in the 2000 season. What do you all think about Graham's bend? But I don't like it. I don't like the bend not break defense because, like I said, one day our secondary is not going to hold up, and we are going to have a bad situation on the bend and don't break defense. And that's just the God's honest truth. DJ played better than Thomas. All right, he still threw for sub 250 yards. That's true. You're not lying. Pro Football Focus is trash. Yes, we all know that. No, I don't think Barkley's job's in jeopardy. And like I said, I think he hit 99 yards. So I don't think his job's in jeopardy. He's got to get his ass on the field, though. For all those bashing Willis in his third year in college, Jones passed for 8,000 yards with 52 touchdowns, 14 times. Yeah, I'm not bashing Willis. Willis went up against a team that's 16th in the nation and a Liberty team that has no offensive line, no wide receivers, and no weapons whatsoever, and he still makes it interesting. Tim, that's me. What's up, Double Easy? How can we do the best in the draft, the best player available when we have so many holes on the O-line? Let's not forget the guard, good backups. We don't even have those things. You know that you can only draft so many players, and that's the thing. You can only fill so many needs via the draft. I hate going out and getting big ticket free agents. I would rather go with free agents that are going to supplement the roster and supplement your draft choices and be guys, not depth guys, because you can find some quality starters that aren't all pros, but guys that are going to help fill your roster. I would rather have, like the Giants had in 86 with the Suburbanites on the offensive line. You know, you got Nelson, Ard, Oates, you got Roberts, and what's his name? I can't remember the last guy's name. I can't remember his name. But they had this guy. None of them were all pros, but they worked together as a unit. And I think that's what we need. Daniel Jones, see, it might be 930 jersey got canceled. I think it's a sign he's not the answer. I'm not reordering. You know, reorder his jersey. Daniel Jones is actually a good running the 80s style offense. Phil Simms threw for 500 yards in one game against Cincinnati in the 80s. So I mean, you can't really call it the what you call it offense. Oh, I'm trying to get my screen rolled the wrong way. Mike Lee, what do we got? Where's Roldy? I haven't seen him again for a second. Bill Parcells ran the wishbone, but then it was the replacement players. Oh my God, I do remember him running the wishbone during the strike. He did run the wishbone. He did run it. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Because Parcells didn't care about the strike. He didn't even go out and scout players. We got that one. Let's see here. For the stat monsters, the Giants have the most special teams. They have 11. They are the second most. Joe Judge was the special teams coordinator, and he preached. I was going to bring that up, but that is true. Ingram finally scored. That was a nice catch from Ingram, man. That was actually a nice grab. You got to give Evan a little bit of credit there. If we're going to make any midseason C's, what are we making with C's? Hold on, we're trying to get some things. If we're going to make any midseason coaching changes, the bye week would be the time. I don't think we're going to now. I said the same thing. If we were going to make any type of coaching changes, it was going to be during the bye week. I don't see it happening now unless something that happens. But I don't see it. I think everyone's job's safe right now. Kerry Collins killed me with his non-accuracy. He passes always receivers. You know what? Kerry Collins at times At times, I don't think he could hit the wall of the stadium if he was standing next to it. What do we got here? Tim, I told you a few weeks ago, we got to get you. I know you actually did, John, about Jim Harbaugh. An established coach who has went to 2 NFC championships, a Super Bowl in 4 years. San Francisco was trash. Yeah, you're right. He was. And and after that loss to Michigan State, I'm still saying that may not be a bad option. Brad Benson. Thank you, Mike Lee. Brad Benson Hyundai. He used to own a Hyundai dealer up in Jersey. He actually bought the old Meadowlands goalpost and had him in his parking lot. We did it. Super Bowl, here we come. Super Bowl, here we come. Yeah, Super Bowl playoffs. What's going on, my paisan? What's going on with you? How you doing? You doing good? Everything good? Let's see here. Told you defense would play out. Yeah, they did. They played better. They played good. You played well. Do you stick with Garrett making the play call? Yeah, you have to, because everyone talks about the maturation of Daniel Jones and his 203 yards and 110 yards. And if that's the case, you have to give credit to the offensive coordinator. Oh, shocking. Everything shows he could be great if he doesn't drop the damn ball. Yeah. Oh, my God. If you were a GM at the start of 2 Thursday, who would be on a team? I don't know, because we still have to get through the salary cap hill of 2022. There's a storm coming in 2022. I am almost 100% sure Judge, Gettleman, and Jones will have another year as of today. I hope not, Mark. Kerry Collins playoff game. Yeah, I mean, Kerry Collins, man, he put some strings together, man. But then, like I said, then look at what happened in the 2000 Super Bowl. Oates had a championship pedigree. He won both. Yes, he did win with the Philadelphia Stars. But no, Mike, it was Philadelphia Stars, and then they went to Baltimore. People forget the second championship was the Baltimore Stars. And then the Michigan Panthers became merged with the Oakland Invaders. The Michigan Panthers was the very first USFL championship. Thank you for all the useless information that I have in my head, because I got a lot of it. Colt McCoy might actually be better than. I don't think he's actually better than Daniel Jones, but he led him to a win. I didn't think there was any way they were going to win against the 49ers. No one can trust Denny Fields, because even in the Rams game, he was sacked in his chest and still fumbled. Yeah, this fumbling thing, man. He's got to figure it out. It's been 3 years. I used to be a Dan Jones believer. 2 weeks ago, I hopped off the train, and I apologize for my fan ad blinding me. Well, as long as you're not hopping back on the train, you're good. You're all right. How good is this team with a good quarterback? Ooh. I think with a quality quarterback, but a 2001 quarterback, I think you could potentially. I don't think you're still a playoff team, but I think you can win a couple more games. I think you can. Poor Jason Garrett. He can't do anything with the quarterback. I think a lot of it is, like I said, I think is a philosophy of Joe Judge. I'm not thinking it's Jason Garrett. I think Jason Garrett wants to open up the playbook, but the problem is he just can't. They're afraid of the turnover. That's going to be the new sound of it. Afraid of the turnover. Do he sucks, or is it Daniel Jones? Well, according to all the Daniel Jones neophytes, we suck. Everyone else, he's great. Everyone else is terrible. He throws for 110 yards. He threw the team on his back and just carried them. No O-line. Jones be throwing to ghosts. Poor Sam Darnold. He had another bad day. Oh, this was a good one. Zachary. Colts are down. A quarterback. Why? That's right. Because they had they're both wide receivers out. Colt McCoy, James Conner, smoked the Niners. Yeah, it's true. It's true. What do you think of Louis Riddick as a GM? Hold on, sorry. He had the opportunity. The Giants didn't go with them. He said some things about the Giants recently, and not recently in the last year. So I don't think the Giants would ever go down that road. Only because of the fact that, they kind of, and he wasn't wrong about a lot of things he said about the Giants. And I think he would be a quality general manager in New York. Daniel Jones would be a Pro Bowler once Garrett is fired. Garrett is holding him back. No, I think Daniel Jones' lack of talent is holding him back. If a tree fell in the woods, could Nate Solder block the dandelion next to it? No. If a tree fell in the woods, it would be everyone else's fault but Daniel Jones's. Yeah, and I think that too. I think that too. I think we're at least an 8-win. If with a good quarterback, I would say this is an 8 to 9 win team. I don't think it's gonna, but I don't think that would be playoff worthy. That's why people have nicknamed Jones Payton with wheels. He's the future stud. Okay. Let's see. It's an abomination of a judge and Jones shows. Hold on. Sorry, I'm still getting over my COVID. Carry them with 110 yards. It was 110 yards. This was this was the greatest 100-yard, 10-yard passing game that I've ever seen. Sam Darnold, man. Sam Darnold does stink. I mean, he's terrible. What do we got here? Does not scare me. He's going to be healthy for Monday night. All right. I hope so. I would love to see the offense translation to running 20 times and throwing it like 15. They can't though. Daniel Jones is not a running. He is a running quarterback, but he's a running quarterback by design. He's not a scrambler. He's not a Malik Willis. He's not a Lamar Jackson. He's not a Kyler Murray. If we had Aaron Rodgers, we definitely play. If we had Aaron Rodgers, yes. If you put a quality quarterback like on that, yes, I would say that we would be at least wild card contenders. Do you think when Nate Solder tries to open the door, the door wins? Yeah, don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh. Because yes, I do think the door would win. Rolly made a good point this morning. Raiders O-line is junk, and they still, he did. And I said this. He's 100% right. They're horrid, and still. They made the giant defensive line look like it was nothing. It would be hilarious if he turns into a poor man's Lamar. Yeah, I don't even see that. We should be 6-3. I should be better looking, but we know that ain't gonna happen because I'm already that good looking. People forget that Garrett developed undrafted Tony Romo in the 4th round pick. I know. Actually, they do forget that. They do forget that quite a bit. Yes, Malik Willis is still on my radar. Sorry, guys. Just because he had a bad game against 16th ranked Ole Miss, I'm still on the Willis train. You could still see the talent there. Tim, does your headset work? Blame on whatever company made your headset. They need the new iOS update. No, my headset works. I get. Excuse me. This game confirmed it. I'm buying a DJ. Seriously, not. Oh my god. Didn't you mean, Tim, you're kind of printing posters for him? I don't know. I must have missed that one. I'm sorry. Oh my god. That's what I'm saying. Like 20 design runs a game. Yeah, he just can't because they tried to run him today a little bit. And it's just not going to work. He actually got run down by the other defensive end. I can't remember what's his name. I can't remember. Not Yannick Ngakoue, the other guy on the other side. He looked horrible against Ole Miss. But if you don't have an offensive line, you have no weapons in the defense that can't play, and you don't have a running game. And you're going up against the 16th ranked team. Yeah, you're going to have a bad day. Daniel Jones takes forever to pass the ball. It takes him 2 hours to watch a half-hour sitcom. Hey-oh, found the button.
That's what she said.
Oh, my God. Let's see here. Rodgers wouldn't have thrown for 0 touchdowns because he wouldn't lose. Yeah, I can't dispute this. I really still can't. We can still get weak Willis. I have a feeling that he might not be bad enough to draft him. No, we're not going to be. And I still think he's going to go to the Texans, or he's going to go to or he's going to go to Detroit. Too bad the police was stopping in Houston. It's true. Let's see. I'm still going to go with pass rusher and O-line the first round. We need to fix the basics, and we need to get a future quarterback. What's the matter? Your 110 yards is not a future quarterback? Come on. I love DJ, but you're right. He's not the guy. And it's not that people don't want DJ to be the guy. And I want people to understand that it's not like people are sitting here saying, well, we don't want Daniel Jones to be the guy because Daniel Jones sucks. No, you want Daniel Jones to be the guy because you don't want to waste a 6th overall pick on a guy that's not going to be a quarterback, but you're going to swing and miss on more quarterbacks than you're going to find an Eli Manning. I think that's what people need to. I think that's what people need to understand. No, people did predict to win today. A couple people, I think 2 people did. I never gave a score. I laughed because I was having so much fun with Mr. Lewis on the show that I forgot to give him my score. And the funny thing was, I was initially going to predict the Giants winning like 28-21. But I thought it would be Max Crosby. Thank you. But I thought it was good. I was like, no, I'm crazy. We all know I'm crazy. The defense has been spectacular. Defense has played well. You know what the thing is? The defense is bending and not breaking. That's the problem. We're not attacking. We're bending and not breaking. And you are going to reach a point in a couple game stretch where you're going to break. I think he's still coming off the injury, and I still think that they were using him more as a decoy. Remember when Odell had the hamstring problem and they actually let him play, and they actually just used him as a decoy? Question, that's me. Do the Giants re-sign next season? How much do you think they should pay him? Well, he's going to have his 5th-year deal next year. I mean, he's going to be in year 5, so they're not going to re-sign him. And honestly, I wouldn't even bother because you can still tag him. You could tag him once. The second time you can't tag him, but you could tag him You can tag him that first time. Whoops, what do we got here? Good teams always find a way to win. Yeah, it's true. You are what your record says you are. Even the Giants' wins have been by the skin of their teeth. The Giants have to put you know what? That's the thing. They need to put. You know what? That's actually a great point. They do not put together dominant quarters, and that's what they need to do. That's actually a really good point. That's an excellent point. It's a wonderful point. Who do we blame for the lack of success in the pass game? O-line, Jones, Garrett, or the receivers? It's everyone's fault but Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones can do no wrong. You have to put the onus on the quarterback. If the quarterback has had time at times in the pocket. He's had for 4 or 5 games, he had all of his wide receivers, and he still is not putting up points. So there's a common denominator there. Other than Willis, what quarter coming out this year would you take? I wouldn't take it. You know what? If I only had a choice with Willis or Daniel Jones or another quarterback, I would probably trade Daniel Jones and try to pick up someone in free agency because this is not a strong quarterback class right now. I think Malik Willis to me has potential. I don't, he may not be a day one starter, but I think he's got the high end potential, almost like a Josh Allen. How about Josh Allen of the Jags, the other Josh Allen, man? DJ threw a screen and the Giants created. Wow, look at Daniel Jones. What a throw. That's true. You're not lying. You're not lying. If Willis isn't there, God forbid, who do you think the draft? You know what? You're going to have to go. To me, you're going to have to go defensive line. You can't keep spending your draft capital on offensive linemen and whiffing. It's time to go build some. It's time to go get some line help via trade or via free agency. Bring someone. We only signed Nate Solder because he was the best left tackle on the market. I thought he was a systems guy coming over from New England, but I understood why they signed him. I'm not just convinced that the quarterback class is any better than what we have. That's what I'm saying. I'm not convinced, but it doesn't mean I want to sit with Daniel Jones for another year. Can we get back Colt McCoy? I wonder if DJ can hold on the sanity clause because he cannot hold the ball. That's for sure. It's going to be hard for. I laugh because I was actually thinking Santa Claus. Well, let's see here. You don't have the personnel to be aggressive on defense. We don't have the line help, but that's what we need to be. Because the bend not break, I've seen it before. Bend not break is great, but sooner or later, you're going to break. And like I said, thank God Derek Carr missed. The guy was wide. The guy had burned Bradbury. He was open by like 9 yards. Thank God he missed him. Chris, Hub, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? What did I miss? What did I miss? I've always missed something. We've already played the best of the NFL has to offer. One more Tampa. Well, I don't know if we played the best of the NFL has to offer. I wouldn't say we really played the best the NFL had to offer. I kind of cringe when DJ runs for yards. It's a weird. You know what's funny? I cringe when Daniel Jones is in the pocket. And I mean where he is securely in the pocket. I cringe because if you watch it again today, he senses nothing coming from here. He senses nothing from his side. Nothing. I have never seen a quarterback have no pocket presence or pocket awareness to not have the ability to sense the rush. It's just I don't know. I really don't know. I remember when Barkley was drafted. He said he was going to live off his endorsements money and not spend a salary. Yeah, he might have to dip a little bit. Well, he's got the Razor commercial. Let's see here. Do we sign Newton in free agency next year? Have a better option out there? Yeah, I think Cam is pretty well washed up. I think he would be a good answer for this year as a backup, but I'm not going to sit there and rely on Cam Newton. That would just be crazy. What do we got here? What's going on here? Can we promise each other never to use the word "I dare"? So I want to puke when I hear that. Oh my God, the Titans are killing. Yeah, the Titans are killing the Rams. It's another. Well, it's still it's not early, but it's what you call it. You know what? It's just one of those things. Are you taking two different players next draft? We need. You know what the problem is? Yeah, we need a solid pass rusher and a quarterback. We need linebackers. We need linebackers we need linebackers. I like Tate Crowder. Tate Crowder is not the answer as a starting linebacker. And then what you got Blake Martinez coming back from an ACL. We need linebackers. I'm worried Evan Godwin and the Browns will torch a second. John, this is the point that I'm talking about. The bend not break. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Brown. And then you throw in Leonard Fournette. You throw in Tom Brady. And Gronkowski's probably going to come back and play. That is a bad matchup for our secondary. And you can't bend not break there. DJ thinks he has a red jersey on. The only too late to forget he's not in practice anymore. Hey-oh. Oh, my God. We need everything. Let's be real. Well, no, not everything, because the nachos are really good at the stadium. I enjoy those. But I don't think we need everything. So, we keep the nacho vendors. Oh, my God. It is crazy. What bothers you? What bothers me is the Giants drafted all but two players on defense in last draft, yet we still have underperforming. That's a problem. And that's why I keep saying you can't keep going to the well in certain positions if you and keep whiffing. That's a problem. And that's the issue that the Giants have been running into recently. I meant that, and you were making me laugh. You got that right. Oh, my God. Can we at least say Daniel Jones is the top 20 quarterback this year? No. Top 20. No. Come on. No. I can't say that. Come on. Apparently, we need new headsets. Come in, Eric. You think with this win saves Dave Gettleman and Joker Judge Jobs? I don't know if that answer's all right. You know what? I think they're safe going into the bye. I think Gettleman still has. I don't think he's got much. No, I don't know. Honestly, I think it might save Judge's job, but I think Gettleman's still a goner. People are now calling Dak Prescott a bust. If he was a bust, I'd like to have him on our team, please, if that's okay. If you keep whiffing the same position, the overhaul scouting staff, Mr. Lewis said that too. We got scouts. We got one scout that's been here since the 80s. It's time. Tim, the Eagles, what do you think? We got a shot? At the beginning of the year, I thought there was no way in hell we would lose to the Eagles. No way in hell. I'm not sure now. Yeah, they lost that game They lost that game to the Chargers, but I'm not 100% sure. I think we split with them now. I'm just worried that if we draft a quarterback, he's going to be stuck with the garbage O line. That's always a concern. That really is. Another team would trade rely heads for Daniel Jones. Poor Daniel Jones. I think Bose is getting a bad rap. The only offensive players the Giants on the team were Tony and Brightwell, and let's not forget the past draft was pretty deep in O-line that we grabbed. Yeah, it's true though. It's true. The main issue I see with Daniel Jones is the guy has no pocket awareness and he does not go through his progressions. Well, that leads to bad turnovers. Luckily, those aren't important things for quarterbacks. Luckily, that's not that important. Meaningful win, in my opinion. It's a meaningful win if they expand on it. And I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying they're not going to. I'm not saying they're going to roll over. But if they expand on this win, then it's a meaningful win. If you drop the game against Tampa, then it means nothing. We need to give Trent Harris and Quincy Roach at least a playing time. You know what's funny? I thought Trent Harris made this team out of training camp. I know everyone talks about David Sills and how he should have been on the team. I thought Trent Harris made this team. And I wanted to see what he could do this season. And I think hopefully we're going to get an idea. How many interceptions does he have? Does he have 2? Or do he have 2 or do he have 3? I know he got 2 today. Would have been meaningful if we lost 2. Yeah. The defense did win the game. The defense 100% won this game. 110% the defense won this game. They gave you a little bit, 50 seconds left. They gave you a little bit of a stroke, but we still won the game. Tim, random question. I like random questions. Do you think Mara and Tom Coughlin were wrong? Or was it? I think it was time. I think it's time. I think it was time for Coughlin to go. I think he had run his course with the team. And I do think it was time. I think Carl Banks, Joe Papa, is someone else. Bob Papa. I like Bob Papa a lot though. Criticize Jones more than the media. They do because they see him daily. And they see where's Carter Coughlin has a knee injury or an ankle injury. Can't remember which one it was. He fell off the bench. I give myself one. Let me see here. I wish there was a Daniel Jones 4th year so we could draft another quarterback already. We got to draft a quarterback now. Let's see here. 100%. I see what you did there. You did to them, Tim. What did the what? What did I do now? Oh, and here we go. The Knicks. I'm sorry. Thoughts of the Knicks loss today. The Eastern Conference this year looks incredibly. It is competitive. And I have after their big win against Milwaukee the other day, I said this, the Knicks are gonna drive you insane. They're gonna drive the fan base crazy because they're gonna be up, they're gonna be down, they're gonna have these comebacks. Consistency is not the word for the Knicks right now. They are going to play better. They're gonna make the playoffs, in my opinion. They need to fit the pieces. Kemba Walker, I see he went down with an injury. So, I mean, it's going to, like I said, you're relying on 2 point guards who are 497 years old. Quickly is not a point guard. Quickly should be Quickly, to my mind, he's Vinny Johnson of the old Detroit Pistons. He's microwave. He can come in, he can give you the points in bunches, but he's not going to be a prolific starter, at least not, in my opinion, this year. But he can still be something. He can still give you. He's going to give you that spark off the bench. Because, like I said, last year when we had him and Rose in the second unit, it was magic for a while there. But like I said, you're relying on 2 guys to be your point guard. That they're just going to drive you crazy. He has 2 interceptions and leaves the leagues with 3 or 4 others. Well, what's his name? Diggs has got 7. McKinney has 4 INTs. I don't know how many INTs he had. I didn't know if he had 4. That's awesome. Unlikely. If you could ever have Evan Neal and Limber first, would you? Yeah, if you could, it is very unlikely. But if you could, I would do that. I would do that easily. As you can see, how different a pass rush makes you break pipes. We just don't have a pass rush. When's the last time we had a pass rush? Hutchinson with the first pick. Neal. I mean, it would be interesting. Isaiah Wilson is built like a tank. Can we get him into the game? First round draft choice can't be worse than Solder. Yeah, evidently you've never seen him play because no one else has really seen him play either. Nate had a bad game, but you know what? It is what it is. Giants over the Bucks. No. Nick should teach Robinson a post-up game. It's funny. This is interesting because I liked basketball a hell of a lot better than I did than I ever did football. I liked playing it more in high school, and I laughed though because we had a scout come out from Wake Forest to look at a player that was on our team, and then I was like 6'1", but I was playing center, and it was interesting because the scout, after looking at the other player, came over and said to me, if you were 7 inches taller, you have one of the best low post games that I've ever seen. Because, but nobody wants a 6'1" center or power forward. It's not as easy as you think to teach a post up game. It's not, because there are so many different nuances to playing with your back to the basket. And it's not that they don't want to teach Robinson that teach him that, because you definitely want to teach him that, but his size and his length and his lankiness lends him to be more of he's going to play more facing the basket than he is going to be posting up. But they'll get there. They'll get there. He'll get there. I enjoy college basketball way more than the NBA. I'm still an NBA guy. I've always been an NBA guy. The Giants should have about 5 wins right now, sitting in 17. I don't think so. I wish I was 6'5". I'm 6'2.25". It was great because I always tell the story because in college, man, I was anywhere between 6'3", 6'4". It was great because I remember talking to one, but looking at the media guide, and I even told the guy, I'm not 6'3", because he goes, that's college measurements. And I've said this a million times. You have to go to college and play at college athletics so you learn how not to measure. Because that's like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray was 6'3" in college. It turned out he was 4'11". Fans love to blame Nate Solder. It's not like Daniel Jones helps by step. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. I think McKinney gets 7 interceptions. Gallagher has no touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Xavier get seven INTs. JPP was the last player with the pass rush. Snacks was our last run stop, and the Giants secondary has been Swiss cheese of years, a consistent revolving door. You're not wrong. If you like Nate Solder, you're not a Giant fan. He literally cost us the game. I told you, don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh. It's because I went to Villanova. Well, yeah, no, Villanova, man. Villanova. You gotta what you call it? Villanova. I like Villanova. We used to live not too far from Villanova. They're always fun to watch. I used to love the Big East. When you had St. John's, Villanova, Georgetown, when they were all Syracuse, when they were all good, that was a fun conference to watch. I wish I was 6'5". No, because then you got to buy new clothes. Let's see here. Garrett's got to go. We have Tony Galladay and no touchdown. Well, he's not throwing the ball, though. That's the problem. It's sad because the excuse for Dan Jones is basically everything around him has to be absolutely perfect for him to succeed. It's not realistic in the NFL. Thank you. You're right. Realistic expectations should be your quarterback should be able to throw for more than 110 yards. I got to go to St. John's. I haven't watched any games yet. I like St. John's. I liked it when they were the Redmen. And it wasn't a derogatory thing against Native Americans. It was Redmen because their colors are red, and they changed it to the storm. Everyone's too sensitive. God, I hate Dave. God, I hate Gettleman. How much do you hate him? Hate. There you go. Nate Solder. God, don't kill me, man. You know what's funny? We won without Nate Ebner. I don't know how, but we won without Nate Ebner. What's the problem with the Knicks? Problem with the Knicks is they shoot too many threes and they miss and they don't rebound. Yeah. That's true. That's true. I mean, they get enamored with the three, and Julius Randle, he's not hitting like he did from the charity stripe. He's going to need to be a lot more consistent, and we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. The Knicks are going to be fine. Even if they're the perfect team, finds ways to screw it up. The Redmen, that sounds bad. Yeah, you don't remember. Well, you guys probably don't remember. This was going back some years. Like I said there, because in the 80s, I mean, that was the conference. You had Chris Mullin at St. John's. You had Patrick Ewing in Georgetown. You had Dwayne the Pearl Washington over in Syracuse. I mean, you had big names coming. You had big names coming out of the East. And it was always the St. John's Redmonds against the Hoyas of Georgetown. I feel like Nate Ebner is worse special teams than Penny. You know what? Penny's not a bad special teams player. But Nate Ebner, he brings nothing. Uh-oh, you said it. St. John's Redmond and the Washington Redskins. Don't say that. Don't say that. I have to bleep you. Did St. John's have any great players back in the day besides Mullins and Mark Jackson? They had Walter Berry. He was a good college player, but he didn't translate well into the pros. He had that one good year at San Antonio, then went overseas. They had Felipe Lopez, who came in. He was highly recruited out of New York. He had an okay career, but no, the big players would be Action Jackson and Chris Mullins. If the Giants sell MetLife to the Jets for 10 to 15 years for the Giants, they build their own stadium. You know, I would like to see the Giants build their own stadium. I like to see them rebuild the Meadowlands because that place was such a dump that it was awesome. Fluke win without Nate Ebner. He is the most important place in the whole team. We need to give him a max deal next year, blow him his contract. $400 million for Nate Ebner. Who's down with it? The Big East and the ACC in the 80s, those were the conference, man. I mean, and you forget you forget Villanova. I always forget Villanova. And you forget St. John's. And you forget also in the Big East you had Temple. You had Don Chaney, and you had at one point you had Mark Macon. Oh yeah, I mean that was the league, man, back in the day. The Cleveland Indians. Oh yeah, they're not the Cleveland Indians anymore. I forgot about Ron Artest. But that was back in the day, man. That was some serious basketball. I always forget about Villanova, Temple, and Seton Hall. And then, like I said, then you had Georgetown, Syracuse, and then you had St. John's. That was a conference and a half, man. The Jets were supposed to build a stadium over on the west side. I forgot who killed the deal. Oh, yeah, that's right. They were supposed to do that, weren't they? The Giants should be playing in New York games. Force me to Bills fan. Force you to be a Bills fan. If we stayed in Jersey all my damn life, at least they'd be training in Albany before. Good point. Excellent point. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, Ronnie Cycli. Number 4. My dad's a Seton Hall Pirates fan because he went there and I live in Jersey. How jealous of Villanova, though. Miles Powers turned out to be a jerk who sued the school for not getting. Yeah, that's true. He did. Wrapping up. Yeah, I'm wrapping up too because it's late. Ronnie Cycli, number 4 for the Syracuse Orangemen. He didn't have much of a career outside of Miami. I used to have a Ronnie Cycli jersey. I used to have a number 4 jersey. I was a University of Kentucky fan 10 years ago. Missed training camp at Fairleigh Dickinson. Yeah, you know what? Training camp used to be awesome for the Giants in some of these areas. I like I said, I loved it when they were up. Wild week of American football. It was a wild week, Jeffrey. Welcome. We're getting ready to close this out. Oh, Kentucky. What did I say? Yes, it's Kentucky. I don't know what I was thinking today. We're getting ready to close this out, my friend. But it was a good win. See, your hero, Daniel Jones, threw for 110 yards. Can we rebuild this team around other strengths? Graham. Yeah, we're gonna get a punter too. Great time, Tim. Glad to see you're feeling better, brother. I am feeling better, my friend. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm getting there. It was a long day today. So I guess I'm taking a pass on the toilet paper jersey. Zach, yeah, Jacob, email me. Email me at onlineBigBlue@gmail.com. We'll talk about that. Give me an email. Email me, and again, it's onlineBigBlue@gmail.com. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Are you worried about Saquon's durability? Yeah, you know what the thing is with Saquon was a fluke. The ankle was kind of a fluke. So the knee injury was not okay. I'm not going to go back to his sophomore season, but the knee injury was a non-contact, and the ankle injury was kind of a fluke. So I'm not. You always have to be worried about his durability coming back, but it's going to be one of those things. What are the chances of making the wild card? Do you think right now it's 0% chance? Right now it's 0%. The Giants, remember when they had training camp? Yes, I do remember they had FDU Madison because I'm old. Oh, I like this one. Here we go. 3 words: East Rutherford Mega Bowl. Kenny Anderson, Alonzo Mourning, Malik Sealy from St. John's. Alonzo Mourning went to Georgetown. He didn't go to St. John's. And we also forget what's his name, Mutombo. Yes, pathetic is the good word. is the pathetic offense is the word of the day. Let's see here. I was told by a Giant career that we should draft a punter. Oh my goodness gracious. I hope he's not David Wilson. Our coverage has been better. I would love to know who's playing than with Pepper. Yeah, because Peppers isn't a cover guy. Peppers isn't in the box safety. I always like Mutombo was going, yeah, not in my house. That is actually a good commercial. Tim, can I see you burn out? I can see you are burn. Yeah, I'm burning out. I'm actually going to check out of here. You know what, Mark? That's a good point. I am done for the night. I am burnt out. It's been a long day. The COVID's still hanging over me. So we're going to end it here, guys. We're going to see everyone. It is 10:03. It's gone longer than I thought I would.
That's what she said.
Oh, we're going to have our new video coming out on Monday. We're probably not going to do a stream for a couple days. We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. But I think Mark's got it right. I think it's time for bed. But you know what? It was a good win. Any win's a good win. Same thing they always say when you're a pilot, any crash you can walk away from is a good landing. So you know what? We're gonna call this a good win. We're gonna check out for the evening. We're gonna have a good video tomorrow. I'll have some more pep in my step because, like I said, I am starting to feel better. I'm not 100% there yet, but I am feeling better. Appreciate everyone coming out for the 2 streams today and following the video. We're not talking playoffs. We're not talking playoffs. And we are going to have a good night. You have a good night, my friend, as well. And you know what, guys? I'm going to check this out because I'm really starting to feel like I can't talk again. Thanks for my time in New York. I'm going to try and feeling better. So we'll have yourself a good night, everyone. We're going to wrap this up, and hopefully we'll see everyone soon. We got a week off, so we'll still be doing videos daily, and have some fun doing it. And I wish everyone well. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Monday.